What's up, everyone? Welcome back to The 3 Show. I hope you're ready for another awesome week in the NA3HL, so let's start by recapping last weekend's games. In the Central, the Grizzlies and Cyclones took part in a fierce battle, with both teams winning one contest apiece, both games ending in overtime. On Friday night, both teams scored 2 goals in the first 2 periods before a rather quiet final frame. With things headed to overtime, Connor Dvorak would score his 3rd game-winning goal of the season to seal the deal for the Cyclones. Moving along to Saturday, each period was action-packed, with both teams going back and forth, with scoring tied 1-1 after the first, 3-3 after the second, and 4-4 after the third. Rochester would ultimately come away with the win as Andrew Bastian found the back of the net just 2 minutes into OT. In the East, the Nordiques are on a 3-game winning streak after picking up 1 win over New Jersey and a pair of wins over New Hampshire. After scoring the first 3 goals during their contest with New Jersey, the Titans responded, scoring 4 goals in a row to make things interesting, putting the Nords down 4-3 just 6 minutes into the 3rd period. Brody Amon would score his 7th goal of the season a few moments later to tie things up, before 08 blue liner Connor Morissette scored his first goal of his junior career to propel Maine to victory. The team would build off this momentum to sweep the Mountain Kings, as the Nordiques netminders would be the dynamic duo of the series. Gabe Pomerleau and Thomas Baker would combine for 91 shots against, making 87 saves to keep their squad in the win column. In the Frontier, the Ice Dogs and Sabres split their weekend series, a huge 2 points for Mike Perkins and his squad as they sit 3 points from 3rd place in the division after Friday's victory. After being down 2-1 going into the 3rd, Bozeman came out the gates flying, scoring 4 unanswered goals in the 3rd period, 2 of which coming off the stick of TJ Kelsey, his first 2-goal game of the season. Knowing they had something to prove on Saturday, 04 forward Ryan Jordan would step up big time for Brooks Mitchell, tallying 2 of his most crucial goals of the season thus far, netting the game winner and insurance goal during Badlands' 3-1 victory. As we talked about in last week's episode, the Drillers were back in action as they hosted the Rhinos for a 3-game set, with Chris Francis and his Louisiana squad coming away with 2 out of 3 wins, their 1 loss coming in a shootout. When taking a look at records across the league, the Drillers are the only team who have yet to lose in regulation. Second-year Louisiana blue liner Johnny Burnt would be named the South Division Star of the Week after his fantastic offensive contributions. The Wheaton, Illinois native racked up 7 points on the weekend as a top scorer for defenseman on his team, scoring 2 goals, 1 on the power play, while dishing out 5 assists, maintaining a plus-minus of +4. The Blizzard most definitely stormed Granite City on home ice as Jeff Krause and his Alexandria squad completed an impressive come-from-behind victory on Friday night to serve the Lumberjacks their first loss of the season. Granite would start the game off scoring the first 3 goals of the contest, Star of the Week Ty Smith scoring 2 of the 3 to put the Jacks up 3-0 entering the 3rd period. Alexandria would go on to have their best period to date, netting 4 unanswered goals to ultimately pull away with the 4-3 victory. Ashton Collins and Eli Flesher would tally 2 points apiece during the final 20 minutes of play, Collins earning 2nd Star of the Week for his valiant efforts. Between the pipes, netminder Kyle Abramson would turn away 32 of 35 saves, improving his record to 5-3 on the year. Now that the NCAA Division III season is well underway, we're going to take a look at 3 of our NA3HL alumni who played in their first collegiate games last weekend. Wentworth Institute of Technology freshman and Northeast General alumni Nick Graham started his collegiate career off on a high note, scoring in his first ever college game on the power play against UMass Dartmouth during the Leopards' 5-2 victory in their season opener. Similar to Ram, Peoria Mustangs alumni Reed Loon also scored in his first collegiate game with the University of Wisconsin River Falls. Loon's goal was not only his first goal of the season, but the first goal for the Falcons on the year during their 5-1 victory over St. John's. Rounding out our alumni segment, Mason City Toros alumni Blake Ulve was named one of the Northern Collegiate Hockey Association's 3 Stars of the Week after his incredible performance with St. Norbert's College during his collegiate debut. Ulve had a 4-point game in St. Norbert's 8-4 win over St. Olaf. Not only did he score his first career goal, he also dished out 3 assists over a 17-minute span later in the game. During their 5-2 victory over Bethel, he also assisted the game-winning goal on the power play. And with that, let's flip over to this upcoming weekend and highlight 1 match in each division. In the Central, the Woodsmen will host the Grizzlies for a 2-game set, their 2nd series of the season. Looking back to a few weeks ago, the Woodsmen swept Rochester, Game 1 ending with a score of 5-3, followed by Game 2 ending with a score of 5-1. Nolan Mix, Hugh Dienema, and Victor Budik all would record 2 or more points during Game 1 for a combined offensive effort. Meanwhile, during the second game, Maxim Lazo would be lights out, scoring his first hat trick of the season. With the Woodsmen having 22 points in the standings and the Grizzlies having 18, Rochester had the opportunity to jump West Bend in the standings and tie Wisconsin with a sweep in regulation. In the East, the Buzz will travel to Canton, Massachusetts to take on the Generals for their second series of the season. As the first-place team in the division, Binghamton previously swept Northeast, a huge 4 points against the four-time East Division champions. When looking at the score sheet, Ethan Miller was a huge contributor, scoring 4 goals and 2 assists over the course of the series, but the Buzz will be without him this weekend as he has been called up to Binghamton's NAHL affiliate in the Elmira Aviators. In addition to Miller, second-leading scorer Jason DiMatteo will also take flight with the Aviators, and the Buzz will need to pull from depth scoring in order to find success. In the Frontier, the second-place Hawks will travel to Bozeman to take on the fourth-place Ice Dogs for their first meeting of the season. When looking at each team's last 10 games, Sheridan holds a 5-3-2-0 record, while Bozeman has went 6-3-0-1. If we take a look back at last season, the Ice Dogs had the Hawks' number as they came away victorious during all 4 of their regular season matchups. Will Mike Perkins and his squad have a huge 4-point weekend, or will Sheridan continue their 3-game winning streak? The New Mexico Ice Wolves took down the Lone Star Brahmas during Game 1 of their 3-game series to serve Texas their first loss of the season. Jake Malzone opened up scoring for the Brahmas with just 4 minutes remaining in the first period, his first goal of the 2024-25 campaign. New Mexico would respond moments later to tie things up, ending the first period with a score of 1-1. The Ice Wolves kept the ball rolling, scoring 2 additional goals in the second period before a scoreless final frame. Keep an eye out on the scores for the remainder of the series, as the results could cause chaos for next week's Tuesday 10. Finishing things out in the West, after battling one another last Saturday, Granite City will travel to the Hippodrome for a 2-game set with the Wilderness. With 2 games played between these organizations, the Lumberjacks have come out on top during both contests, but it's worth noting that the Wilderness took Granite to overtime last week. If we take a look at the league's special team statistics, the Lumberjacks have the second best PK overall and also sit within the top 5 for least goals allowed, showing the defense for the Jacks has been on fire. This set will be a great one to watch as the Wilderness hope to get back in the win column. As always, thanks for tuning in to another episode of The 3 Show. Follow along the live scores on our website and watch all the action live on NATV. See you next week.